Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with the final game between Konstantine and Kifd. It has been an interesting series so far, relatively even, tied at 2-2, obviously, and gonna be seeing what's going on here. Kifd is spawning in the upper right corner as the orange Protoss, and I am spawning in the bottom left corner as the blue Terran pieces. And I picked Blistering Sands because there were no more maps for me to pick. I didn't want to do Metalopolis because I'm pretty horrible on that map, even though it's actually relatively Terran favored. But the reason it's Terran favored is because tanks on the high ground at the high yield expansions are super effective in long macro games, and that is not my playstyle. My playstyle is early aggression and mobile forces, and so I decided that I would go with the map with a backdoor. I would have picked Kulos Ravine, but that was in fact the map that Kifd banned. I had forgotten about it up until this cast, and I actually had to go back into the 1v1 maps to check. So going to be throwing down a supply depot at 9, going to be throwing that scout out around 10. It's a good time to scout if you want to make sure your opponent's not proxying you. It leaves you enough time to throw down another barracks and to know to not take this gas and to just get out a bunker as soon as possible. You can also opt to take the gas and get a Reaper out or something, but I find that a little painful to deal with because while Reapers are amazing, they are a bit frustrating when it comes to having to micro them the entire time that you're being attacked. That can actually kind of mess you up. If you can get a bunker and a Reaper out, then that's excellent. But so it looks like Kif's going to try and sneak around me here and take out this SCV, and I don't know why I attacked there, but I am going to be running him home. Kif doing the most normal thing as usual, and it looks as though it's time for me to steal some more gas. I'm saying it didn't work last game, so why not do it this game? I'm feeling a hell of a lot more confident against the build that happened last time because I know all I have to do is not let my SCV die, which I did. But as long as you get that building up over half health, 200, 300 health, that's all you really need to do is prevent the simulator from going down around this time when he's got the money to do it and he's still macroing. It looks as though Kif's is saving all of his chrono boosts again. I like and dislike this play because it really hurts his economy early. He doesn't have that many workers out, but he has a lot of units, and it's something that I haven't even really considered. So watching these are really informative to me. So thank you, Kif, for giving me this kind of idea, because I never really thought, oh, do a normal build, but save all your chrono boosts for that 1 or 2 gateways that you're going to get. Because before, all I've really been doing is chrono boosting my workers and then building 3 gateways to make up for the fact that I don't chrono boost anything else. So it looks as though he gets a free kill on that refinery and doesn't actually allow me to cancel it because I'm a failure. So I am once again going to be doing this build, and actually the timing on it was much better this time, getting out that Marauder and Concussive Shell on time. I think the best way to do this is actually to forego building the 13th SCV and to actually get a refinery right on 12. You will actually lose some time on building an SCV, and you will have to make your orbital command at 14 rather than 15, but it is extremely effective for running right by some stalkers and not actually attacking them. Oh, this is so bad to watch. What am I doing? Oh. See, the thing is 2 Marines and a Marauder can take this force extremely effectively, especially when it has Concussive Shell right as it dies. And so this is a little bit of bad news. Not so sure why he didn't just push up right up the entrance, but he could have done by scouting up there first. Because with only 1 Marauder, he probably could have pushed and won this game. Although the floating factory, which is so great on this map because it's such a big map, such a big base, you can land one here, although I wouldn't recommend that since it's close to the entrance. But landing it here is great because it foregoes having to worry about them having a pylon here, because most Protoss will throw a pylon down in order to see this range here, as Kif is throwing a pylon down in a forward position to try and take out my destructible rocks, and smartly leaving that Zealot behind so that if I did have a supply depot here, I wouldn't be able to see the unit on the mini-map. I'd actually have to come back to it and see the destructible rocks health going down. So this SCV gets a little lucky. If they had seen me pulling him back, He might have realized that I had Hellions building in his base. So I'm really defended well at the front, but I should be throwing down a supply depot here right now. So this is going to be bad with all my defenses centered at the front and this force coming, which is going to be really strong. This is not going to be all that great. I need to be throwing down some more barracks. I'm getting a little high in my money. Might be getting a little giddy over the fact that he can't actually see that. I thought he could at one point. I said I might be getting a little giddy over the fact that I have 3 Hellions in his base, and it looks as though before he realized what's happening, he warped his units out here. Oh, that's bad. He should have warped in stalkers out here. Looks as though the Hellions are making short work of all these workers, and at the same time, Kifd has a relatively strong force, just going to obliterate that Marine. Oh my goodness. What I really need to do with these Hellions is get them back to the base now, but I don't think that's going to happen. There is a lot of damage going on. We are now fighting in 2 bases, and quite naturally the stalkers are going to take out all those with no micro. And it looks as though I've pulled all my probes, and oh my gosh, these Marauders are going to become champions. These SCVs need to get into this fight. At this point, I just need to come away with any SCVs, and I'll be in a forward position in this game. I only have 1 Marine that's like trapped between 2 stalkers fighting. That the stalkers could be doing a lot better if they were to attack them. So it looks as though Kifd's just about to clean this up, but I have way too many SCVs here for him to actually be able to fight this, and I'm going to be able to back up. And I like how I backed up right there where the trees were so the stalkers couldn't actually hit them. And I'm going to try and throw down a bunker here, but going to lose a Marine to really poor movement. I've only got 1 Marauder to his 3 stalkers, although he has no forces. He has those 2 stalkers on their way, and he has got 3 probes to my large force. And going to be using this 1 Marauder with concussive is going to be so good. I need to pull these SCVs back now. Don't really know why they're so far out. This is just throwing away money and throwing away... yeah, I need to save these SCVs, because if I don't save these SCVs, this could be bad. Also need... Could use a bunker down. The thing that's so great about Terran is when you get in these situations, the orbital command helps so much, because there's constant money that's building as long as you have that base set up. Kifd's going to be spending all his chrono boosts on probes to rebuild, and it seems as though we are in a very similar position as we were in the first game, where Kifd has a bigger army, but just for the moment. Actually, my army's getting pretty big. Need to put these SCVs back to work now that the threat of attack is fading a little bit. Once again, I don't really need to be building anything out of this factory, but it seems as though I've landed it in order to do that. When you're in these tight situations with low mineral costs, you don't really need to be building any zealots as the Protoss, just because they're just not that effective against the Marine Marauder ball. So with my money going very strong right now, I'm in a pretty commanding position. I don't know if I realized how many workers I took from Kifd. Wow, Kifd's APM is just crazy this game. I'm going to check out this player camera and see what he's doing. He's just kind of moving around. He's kind of going crazy here. Whoops. How the hell do you... There we go. Learn a new thing every day. So anyway, looks as though there's a fairly large Marine Marauder force coming out of my base, and Kifd really is having trouble once again. Just losing those probes to that Hellion harass really messed up his plans. I believe, yeah, I do have stim down. I don't have combat shield. Against Protoss in this situation, especially if you're going to throw some Hellions into your army, I advise against getting combat shield if you can use the gas other ways, especially if you're only on one gas and 1 worker, which that should actually be saturated, but I'm a little bit of a failure. Just because if the Marauders are going to be able to take the majority of the hits, the combat shield isn't all that effective. It really only helps against the Zealots. I mean, it makes the Stalkers take 1 more hit to kill them, unless, of course, they have armor, which your Marines generally won't have in a situation like this. But the combat shield doesn't help as much as just getting 4 more Marauders worth of of gas, and maybe getting a few less Marines or a few less Hellions. So at this point, I'm realizing that I can attack, but Kif's probably almost certainly going to have a sentry. This is a little different than the previous game because I don't think his economy was as ravaged because he had enough money to rebuild this time. And so he has a fairly strong economy going again. Not as strong as mine is, but if microed properly, the... yeah, see, there we are. The sentry can pretty much prevent that. And so I scan up here. I'm not sure what I'm doing there, what the point of that scan was, although it did show me what forces he had. He's really, really low on gas right now, and he could probably use a couple more sentries. Gonna be taking down these back rocks because I need to open up this avenue to attack. It's a lot harder to wall in this base with force fields, just due to the fact that it's a wider ramp. So he actually doesn't have enough forces right now to wall in, but I was not aware of that. And so I think what I did here was I sent one Hellion up this ramp just to try and break in. Gonna take out one probe. Then I'm just gonna ride him over here and try and meet him back up with this force, which may or may not be getting stimmed at any moment. Kif's gonna back away. Smart play, because he knows he can probably get one more round of warp-ins. There, and there it is. And with the stem going down, you can just kind of click move. And then the move forward to take out the Immortals. And with the Immortals down, there's really nothing that can deal with these Marauders in this number. The double stem there, good old double stem. And it looks as though this is going to be GG. And so there it is. I end up taking this series 3-2. Pretty good series. I thought there was a lot of craziness, a lot of base trading, and really strong aggression, and lots of low econ mid-game to end-game finishes. Kifd played really well, and I got a little lucky with some Hellions. So